Let's talk about kids and their diets. And as any parent out there knows, it can sometimes be a real challenge, almost impossible, to get your child to stray from chicken fingers and French fries and mac and cheese and pizza and actually eat something that's going to be healthy. And so with childhood obesity, an increasing problem in this country, that's the issue. And perhaps a solution is an educational puppet or puppets that inspire kids to eat healthier. And we're pleased to say hello to our next guests. Radha Agrawal is the founder of Super Sprowtz. You can find them on Twitter at Super Sprowtz. And Heather Feinmel is a marketing manager for C21 department store. You can find them on Twitter at C21 stores. Ladies, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
And this is a nice little partnership that C21, which is a great discount retailer here in New York City and in the New York City area, not just in Manhattan, and Super Sprowtz, you have teamed up. First of all, tell me about Super Sprowtz. What is it, Radha?
So Super Sprowtz is a children's media program that gets kids excited about eating their vegetables and eating healthily.
How do you do that?
Right. So we have a whole series of, we have a television show you can see actually 3 times a week on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. We have a series of products as well, from books, puppets. We have a curriculum for schools, for elementary schools, and we have an exhibit at the Children's Museum of Manhattan. So we're very much sort of like Sesame Street, except for nutrition education.
Well, this is great because what you guys have realized is that kids respond to certain kinds of characters, certain kinds of storylines and creativity. That'll really get their attention as opposed to sitting down and saying, well, let me explain to you, it's very healthy to eat broccoli. You take a whole different approach.
Well, the idea actually came out of a menu. I own a restaurant also in the West Village called Slice, and I designed a kids menu for the restaurant. And one of the menus I designed had all these little characters that I created, and these kids would come in, they started coloring this menu, and they started actually asking for more vegetables on their pizzas. So they saw a direct correlationship, between healthy eating and these superheroes of these characters, and actually ordering more vegetables on their pizzas. There was an immediate behavioral change. And I think that was really cool. And what's fun about the partnership with C21 is that when we met with them, she can talk about that a little bit more, but they're a family-owned business, and we wanted to create this whole family atmosphere around healthy eating for back to school. So we sort of launched in these 7-show series where a portion of the proceeds would go back to the Food Bank for New York City, which is
a great cause, the Food Bank of New York City. Heather, talk to me about C21 and why a department store would want to team up with an organization like Super Sprowtz for an initiative like this.
So like Radha said, we're a family-owned company. We've been around for 50 years, and we've always been involved with helping the community. But when we saw Super Sprowtz and just the energy and the liveliness, we couldn't think of a better organization to partner up with, and we really are interested in helping to get the word out to the community that kids need to start eating healthier. And we are also partnering with the Food Bank for New York, and a portion of the proceeds from the Super Sprowtz puppets, as well as
books and DVDs.
DVDs, and items in the children's department will go to the Food Bank for New York.
So if people come to C21 stores, what would they see? They would see these puppets that are available for sale?
So on the 6 events that we have coming up, and then in the upcoming weeks, we'll have displays of all the Super Sprowtz puppets and the books and the DVDs that are for sale on those days.
And we've had amazing celebrity guests come too. We had Shaquille O'Neal actually show up to our first event.
Yeah, I heard he was around. That's cool.
And he introduced the show. We had all kinds of amazing folks come as well. We had Asif Mandi from The Daily Show. We had my good friend Kat Greenlee from NBC's Talk Stoop. We had just a number of amazing friends of mine, Ben Rattray from Change.org.
Why do you think it is, as someone who works in the food business and also in the education business now with Super Sprowtz, why is it so tough to get kids to eat foods that are more healthy for them?
I mean, I think obviously, it's ingrained in sort of the family that dessert is a reward, right? And so, there's so many books that talk about, hey, let's hide vegetables in your food. Well, for us, it's let's not hide them anymore. Let's not try to mince them and put them in the burger. Let's actually get kids asking for them. So we're really trying to create a cultural difference through music, story, adventure, superheroes, through pop culture icons, to really get families and kids interested in this concept. So
I mentioned my
really
kids. So here's what we try in our house, my wife and me, with varying degrees of success. We do offer dessert when the meal is finished and the vegetable is eaten.
Right.
You know, but it gets to every night there is a fight over how many carrots my 5-year-old in particular has to eat before she can get her dessert. And I just have to think maybe we could be going about this a little bit differently.
I think you should bring home some of our Super Sprouts books.
Would love to.
And our puppets. And actually at mealtime, it's actually proven a million times. I have so many emails from parents, from teachers, and kids, fan mail from kids who've written to me to say that their favorite vegetable is carrots, is broccoli, and that they have super sight now because carrots have given them that. A Colby carrot gave them that. Or I feel super strong because broccoli gives me, super strength. And so each one of our characters actually ends up having this incredible effect on different children. So, your child might be into Brian Broccoli and be into his superpowers of being super strong, where another child might be into Erica Eggplant, super smart, because eggplant's actually a brain food. So it's amazing. As soon as you start shifting the conversation from eat this because it's good for you to let's take taste away from this conversation and actually let's bring story into it. I promise you, it's an absolutely different conversation.
Heather, how can people get involved? I know people who are watching this, not necessarily in the New York City area where they'd be able to come to one of your stores in New York or in New Jersey, but maybe they're in different parts of the country. You have a website too, don't you?
We do, yes. It's C21stores.com. And then also if you check out our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/C21stores, you'll have all the event information and also the great videos that Super Sprouts put together in the shows. And you even see, I was there to attest. The kids in the store were really just so excited.
Yeah, what were they like? What was their response? I'm sure they were happy to see Shaquille O'Neal.
Even after Shaquille was done speaking and dancing with Colby, the kids got up from the grass that we had and just attacked Colby Carrot and the stuffed animals and were eating the vegetables, and we gave them little goodie bags to bring home with their carrots and their broccoli. And like Radha said, the parents were coming up to us just so excited of the way the kids were reacting at the event.
What is the ultimate goal here, ladies? What are you hoping to accomplish with this initiative, with Super Sprouts, with the partnership here? What are you looking for?
I think together with Century 21, the world is our oyster. I really feel like with their support and they're a staple New York company, really cares about their constituents. I really feel like we can shift the culture around healthy eating and make it cool again. I think that's really what's been lost, is that there's so many different initiatives trying to figure out a way to get kids eating vegetables, but we really want to bring that cool factor, cultural relevance to this conversation.
And the Food Bank in New York?
And the Food Bank in New York feeds 400,000 meals a day to families in need in the New York City area. So that is a huge initiative for us together to really help those families in the New York tri-state area.
What a great partnership, a great initiative. We appreciate you coming in and talking to us about it and bringing these friends of yours down at the end of the table. Radha Agrawal is the founder of Super Sprouts, Sprowtz, and you can find them online. You can find them on Twitter. Heather Feinmel is the marketing manager for Century 21 department store on Twitter at Century 21 Stores. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Nice to meet you.